So yeah, Brian, I do really do appreciate you sitting down with us. So I've met you a couple times. Why don't you tell me real quick, because we don't know the background, how did you get into coaching?
I started out, we actually come from a family of fighters. My Uncle Archie, God rest his soul, and my dad, and my other Uncle Raymond, they put together a thing called the USA Boxing Academy, and it was back when we were younger. And so boxing's always been in my family. I was pretty good.
Yeah. So you boxed as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I boxed for a while, and then Father Time decided to let me not grow up, but I kept getting bigger.
Yeah.
So it just became, he's not growing, his reach isn't growing. The shortest heavyweight is Mike Tyson, he's 5'11". I'm 5'7". I'm 5'9" now, but at the time I was 5'7", and it would seem like I wasn't going to pass it.
Yeah.
So my dad and my uncles got together one day after I had 2 fights with the same person that ended the same way.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, he's not growing.
Yeah.
And it's not something that he's going to be able to do.
Okay.
So I left the sport for a long time, and I started football became my love and passion. So I started coaching football and playing ball and had an extensive career playing. Then I was done with that. And then Vladimir Biasi, who's like a little brother to me, he says, hey, he was fighting professionally. He was actually getting ready for a big fight on ESPN.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm going to come get you. We're going to go to the gym. I just want to see what you can do. Because at the time, I was doing a lot of photography and graphic works for him.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's go. And we were there, and he was doing something wrong. And I kept going, why do you keep coming back to the middle? And he's like, excuse me? And his whole training staff's there. I said, oh, my bad. I didn't mean it. Let me back off. And then he's like, no. What did you say? I said, why do you keep throwing that hook and then coming right back to where you left from? That's why you keep getting hit. And then he says, well, what do you know about this?
Yeah.
And I was like, I used to box. And then he was like, oh, so tell me. And then that happened. He went away. I got contracted to do music for Shane Mosley.
Yep.
And same thing. We were out there, and I'm talking one day, and he's training. I'm like, why do you keep dropping that hand every time you jab? Like, it's somebody's going to pick that up. And then everybody in the room's like, what the hell is DJ doing? And I'm like,
You're a DJ.
I'm back. And I'm like, oh, shoot, back off. You're doing it again.
Yeah.
And then long story short, Shane kind of pushed it like, you need to be doing this. You have an eye. He's like, you're a humble guy. You don't like to be seen, but you got an eye for what you're doing. So long story short, I worked with him for a few years, and then we moved on to someone else. And then Brian Barboza asked my help, and somehow with Brian, he introduced me to Miguel Cotto. Come to find out, he lived in Providence.
Wow.
And he played football with my little brother. So he knew who I. So I ended up working with him and a few other fighters. And then I came back. Vladimir was near the end of his career, and we formed this thing called the Ring of Peace. And it was an alternative to street violence, bringing kids off the street and giving them something to do. Because as you know, in the streets, there's nothing out here in these communities for the kids to do anymore. So we partnered with a recreation center called John Hope Settlement House, and we opened up the Ring of Peace Boxing Academy, which was a full-fledged gym. And then while we were doing that, we heard about the same problem in Woonsocket. So him and I teamed with the YMCA out there, and we built a gym out there. So that was our thing. We were building gyms, getting kids off. And then one day he says, okay, so we built this one. You got to coach. So, wait, what are you talking about? He said, I can't do this by myself. You got to coach. So around that time, he was getting ready for, I believe it was him and Peter Manfredo, Pride of Providence match. He's Mr. Providence. Peter was the Pride of Providence. So we get together, go down to Cape Verdean Festival, and we're going to promote this fight. That's where I met Marcus. Well, I met Heidi first. And she comes up, beautiful young lady, and all the guys are sitting there, and she goes, hi, can I talk to you for a minute? And you know, guys' egos, they're like, oh, told you she's over there looking at us. And she says, my boyfriend wants to box. I said, well, bring him over here. I mean, where is he? She said, he's right there. And there was a tree. Nobody there by the tree. I guess he went to go get a lemonade or something like that. But I'm like, sweetheart, unless you're dating a tree, there's nobody over there. And she's like, can I come? I'm going to go get him. So go ahead. She comes back with this young dude who's real humble, but you can tell he's shy. And I'm like, so what you going to do? $1. Okay. Are you dedicated? Yeah. Are you appreciative of people's time? Yeah. Here's the address. I'll see you Monday. So the Monday comes, he pops in the gym and he's looking around and I'm like, where's your stuff? It's in my car. I didn't think I could go get it. Let's go. We start today. And that's where I got to say he really helped catapult me into this, because from working with him, it led to working with more fighters, more amateurs, to the point now where I'm also on the training team for Demetrius Andrade. But I don't think a lot of it would happen if it wasn't for me and him.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's a huge transition. And it just comes from one conversation randomly at a festival with somebody coming in like Marcus on that first day. What are you looking for? What are the traits that you look for that let you know that someone is, I mean, multiple, right? Are they going to last? And then two, is there something that you go, this person could be a champion? There's something special. What are the traits you're looking for?
the first thing I like to do is tell you, come in the gym. The first week, I'm going to give you bare minimum. Get accustomed to the gym. Get comfortable in here. And while I'm letting you get comfortable, I'm slowly watching your ethic. Go hit the bag. Here's a few exercises I want you to do. Go hit the bag. When Marcus came through the door, it was, I'm in this one spot you put me. I'm doing everything you tell me until you tell me to stop. What you look for, it's hard to say, because if I hand you a diamond, uncut, unpolished, it looks like a rock. It's when you start chipping at that surface and you start putting in those attributes into them, and it's when you see the light go on. The fire comes with the light, and the more light you can shed on that kid, the more fire you get. Are they patient enough with themselves to be great? Because great is not done in the ring. Great's done in here. Great's done when your body's tired, you're sore, you're hurting, but there's something that says, one more time, one more round, one more attribute, one more thing. When my guys go to cut weight, I cut weight. When my guys got to go through something hard, I go through something hard. Because coaching, if you coach, you're only going to go to so far. If you invest and you become family with the person that you're training, you're going to go deeper. You're going to go harder. You're going to push beyond what you want to do. And I think a lot of times I don't think the guys really call me coach. For the most part, it's pops. Marcus don't ever call me coach. He's AB. That's like my best friend, little brother, at times son. You got to be whatever they need in the moment. And that's what makes you and that kid great. Because we have one kid nobody believed in. He works harder than anybody. When he started out, he was training in a backyard with a MMA hobby coach. Now he came in for a week or two. He's never left.
Wow.
And he's going to be something special.
Yeah, because you see that in him, and you're going to take it with him. And I think what you were describing too about how you go through these things with them is, they always say, like, what's the difference between a manager and a leader? And it's like a leader does the things with somebody. A manager just tells somebody what to do. So if you say, hey, go hit the bag, and then you turn your back and you leave the person there, you're not really coaching them, right? Like, there's a difference, unless you're testing them, but there's a difference between being like, hey, like, what's going on in your life, and actually caring, because a lot of people don't like to just be told and then see the person doing the other thing that they're telling them not to do, right? So that's interesting that you're testing people, but also bringing them with you. You're going along for the ride. Speaking of, you're going to be along for the ride in Florida.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be exciting.
Is this obviously this isn't your first time traveling?
No.
No. Have you been down to Florida for a fight?
Yeah, I've been down there a couple of times with fights and different things. This was gonna be special though, because this right here with Michael Reyes, it's more of a joint venture
Yeah.
because I'm not letting my guys get oversaturated anymore.
Okay.
Rhode Island's the smallest state in the country,
Right.
probably the smallest state in the world.
Right.
And the one thing I'm trying to get these guys to understand is you can't be Rhode Island famous. If you're going to step out on a world stage, you got to be ready for the world. A lot of times they want us to fight Springfield, Lowell, New Hampshire. That to me is extensions.
Right.
They got to get out to Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, Texas,
Right.
Philly, Baltimore. I was blessed to make a contact with Coach Calvin Ford, who's Devontae Davis's trainer. After he finishes with Ryan Garcia in April, these guys are going down there. They're going to Upton Gym. I talked to Jerron Ellis's dad. I got contacts with him. They're going to Philly. You got to invest in them if they're going to invest in you. Because with my company, when I first started it, I didn't have money to do sign-in bonuses. I still don't because it's a constant investment. So with Marcus, I had to say, road trip. We're going to the different places. And we got to go to Atlantic City, and we've got to go to some other places and fight. But to get these kids past Rhode Island and then show them that you got to be world famous, you got to get ready for a world stage because the lights are brighter in bigger places.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. You were at Boo Boo's last fight, and that was a Showtime event.
Yes.
That must have been just jaw dropping.
That was busy. And it was a busy that I've never seen before. When you get an email of this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday, and then you're running. And then after all of the media workouts and all of the weight cuts and everything's done and you get transported over to the venue, that ride had a dead silence. And then you walk into that Capitol Arena, and when we first got there was all the prelims going on because those fights go on from like early in the afternoon until. So we get there, we're an hour late, but we're still moving. And then we're going through the processes. And you're walking down the hallway, here goes Leonard Ellaby. Here goes Jerron Boots Ennis. Here's Brian Custer. Here's Sam Watson. And you're just like, wow. Little baby, there's celebrities, there's Meek Mills.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
And they're just walking by and they're looking for you. And one guy looks at me and he says, yo, I remember you from da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I was there, but I never thought. And now we walk Boo Boo through, and there's a little tunnel, and you open up. Now, I've been to Amika, or the Dunk, or whatever they call it now. I went through there, and it's like, oh, shoot, Dunkin' Donuts. But when you step into an arena, and there's over 55,000 people, and the lights and what you see on television is now in front of you. Demetrius turns to me right before he walks out. He goes, B, you ready for this? I know you are. Let's go. And I'm like, this is about you. What you asking me for? But as he's walking, my feet are like, I ain't going out there. I really ain't. And then we get out there, I'm like, we out here.
Yeah.
And then Tank's mom sitting behind us and all of these people that you could point out. And you know how hard it is when they're watching you, but you're going, oh, shoot, that's. I'm like, put your finger down, sit down, act like you got some class.
Yeah. You're looking for your notebook. You're like, just can I get
Oh,
your autograph?
It was crazy because they're tapping you.
Yeah.
Like Rick Smith sitting there grabbing your shoulders, talking about, yo, you guys bought the boogeyman we were about to see. So it was like, this is nuts.
Yeah. How was that after the fact? It kind of cracked me up. Tyson Fury calling him, again, English, he was calling him the bogeyman about Boo Boo. Like, that must be huge.
It's, you know, it goes so much farther because to us here, I've been saying to Paul, I've been saying to Mike and the rest of the team, He's an enigma. He's a once in a lifetime. This is the Cassius Clay of this era, and people are just starting to notice it now. But dealing with him has been crazy because now there's all of these shows and interviews that he's like, talk to me. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. So now I think the other day we were sitting there and I was explaining something with Mike and Marcus. And Mike turns to Marcus and goes, he doesn't understand. He's known now. Talking about me. And I'm like, he's like, bro, there's a whole episode that you, and you have Dante's Boxing Nation, you have Punch Drunk, you have all these people commenting on it. And I'm like, where? Because I'm not familiar. So they show me and I go home that night and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. This is where this is now. But it's, again, as much as it's Demetrius, it's also Marcus, because that man, he trusted. We went through things, we've been through things. It ain't always easy. There's been, yo, why you don't like this guy? Or why you don't like that guy?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, I just don't.
Yeah, you got to trust me.
I said, rock with me. We've been here. And we're both energy people, and we're both feeling people, and that raw gut instinct. And luckily, we haven't been wrong. If he don't like somebody, I back up. If I don't like somebody, he backs up.
Yeah.
He's just a little bit more understanding than me.
Yeah.
And like I told him, I got your life in my hands.
Yeah.
Good, hell, or bad. I'm going to stop a fight way too early. Because I'm not turning to your kid. I'm not turning to your wife. I'm not turning to your future babies. And going, if I only did it sooner.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that you wear as a coach that a lot of people aren't aware of, that is on your hands to stop fights, and even outside the ring let somebody know, like, hey, it's time to hang it up, like you may be getting into some deep water here.
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of games on my phone. He don't know it. He's gonna find out now. Every once in a while I'll be like, play this for a little bit.
Okay.
But it's got timers on it.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, it took him 1:30 to do it today. Work out after a sparring, do it again.
Tracking. Yeah.
Constantly worried about the cognitive ability, because this is a sport, but it's a fraction in time. I learned that playing ball. No matter how long, I stayed too long. I know I stayed too long. I retired at 47.
Yeah.
But it's just sore muscles for me. In boxing, that's your head, that's your brain. And in my other profession, I'm a behavior specialist, so I deal with the brain every day.
Yeah.
When it's done, it's done.
Yeah, there's no fixing it.
No, I've had guys go, yo, you know what? If he don't get to this level, we can get him some big money fights.
Nah, it's not worth it.
He's got a job. He's got a great career. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a beautiful family.
Yeah, and a long future ahead of him. He's very young. You don't want to risk that forever for like one big fight. So we were talking earlier. We had met the first time that I did the photo shoot, and you had told me that you're working on a program for core and for mobility in boxing. And so aside from just teaching boxing, you're also teaching core and mobility to develop power and stamina. Why don't you explain that a little bit to us?
Yeah, we have two. We have what we call zero gravity, which is a premise. And then we have primal cognitive, which in the core system, everything comes, like when you hear people talking about weight loss and you hear people talking about fitness, you'll see them doing that. We have arm day, we have leg day, we have back, we have abs.
Everyone's grown up with that, right?
But no one knows what core is. They don't know the basis of your core. So I started looking at it, and again, using Marcus, we go to watch Doug and we go to watch other people, and a good friend of mine, Sharik Mendez at Heart Fitness, and just everywhere I went, I'm looking and I'm like, there's no core. That's where the power comes from. And then being a martial artist, I look at that and I'm like, it was all core there, but it's not here. So I started playing with core premises. And then my boss, her daughter she runs the space station for NASA.
For NASA, okay.
The one that all the Russians are living in,
Yeah.
she's been running that since it's been there.
Wow.
But she comes home, and when she came home, I had a conversation with her about gravity and things of that nature, and she's like, "Do you know what's the most powerful thing in the universe? And if you could find a way to harness it with exercise, it's the most important tool that you'll never have to pay for. You don't have to upgrade it or nothing." So I sat with her, and I'm like,
Yeah.
keep talking.
Yeah. Give
keep
me all
talking.
that information.
And as she's talking, geniuses, she's showing me these little diagrams and stuff. So I go over to Marcus. I said, "Hey, we got to try something."
Yeah.
And he had these little regimens he's doing. And he'd be sitting in the back of the gym over there. That's his little square, the last one. And he says to me, "I got time for you today, B. Take your ass over there." I said, "No, I got to show you this." And he goes, "All right." And he's doing one exercise. I said, "Now don't put your back. Don't let this touch. Stay here." And things that he was doing with proficiency. He's like, "What are you doing? What was that? Oh." And then we just, again, he's patient. He's the type of guy who'll be like, "Okay, let's try it." And we did it. And then when he was cutting weight, he went home that week. He comes back. He goes, "We got to do it again." And I said, "But what do you think?" He's like, "You're on to something." And I'm like, "Marcus, what are you talking about?" I said, "But did it help?" He goes, "Look at my shirt." And he took his shirt. He's like, "I've never cut this fast." And believe it or not, again, that led to Demetrius saying, "How you getting like that?" "Oh, B does this. You got to try it." "Let me try it." And it went from him, went to Rashidi Ellis. It went to Calify. It's gone to Jesse Hart. And now it's starting to go to fighters. But again, it's something that started here. And like a lot of people say, "Well, so show me how it works." I'm like,
Nah. Can't do that.
and then this last fight, who shows up? Victor Conti
Wow.
from Snack. And he's like, "I want to bring him to California. I want him to see it. I can help you develop it further." And again, it all starts from him, but it walked.
Yeah.
And people tell me I'm crazy. People say my principles and my methodology and the things that I use to merge, even with boxing techniques, that's impossible. You can't do that. You can't do that to the point where we're using the game against itself now.
Mm.
And when people say it's not possible, okay, keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, right. Good. Every doubter, that's an open door for you guys to just kick down. Like, you don't even have to open the door. Hey, you doubt me? Cool. I'm going to do this. And you don't stand a chance because you're not going to listen or even try. That's fantastic. So is this something we're going to see released soon?
Yeah, we're actually working on getting this fight done with him, making sure all my calendar agendas are clear. Then we're going to start filming it, putting it out, and it's going to be something. But there's a lot of legal stuff when I'm talking to my lawyers and stuff. They're like,
Yeah.
"Listen, if this is working the way you're working, we got to cross the T's, we got to dot the I's,
Always.
we got to protect it so you have it."
Yes.
Especially if I go to bigger places.
Yep.
And then, like, as you can see over there on the wall, looks like a big mass of web and garbage, but
Yeah.
those are all my tools at the trade. And I'm always I'll work with a apparatus that's already out,
Yeah. But in a different way.
but I see a new way to play with it.
Yeah.
So even that, he's like, "Well, you're going to reapproach a bunch of the people you use so they don't go, 'Well, he's using my machine,' or 'He's using my,'
Yep. Yeah.
this is how he's using it." And,
Yeah.
and it'll end up turning into, can we incorporate it with our programs and this or that?
Right.
So there's a lot to it, but
Yeah, you definitely got to make sure you're protected there for sure. But we will see it. And we obviously don't see the techniques, but we get to see the results in the ring, which have been great. Do you have anybody you want to shout out or anything like that?
oh my God, I always got to shout out Mike Basil. I got to shout out Marcus, Heidi, my young team. We have a bunch of young fighters. We got Mike, we got Dylan, we got X, we got Ra. I mean, Birdo. I mean, I'm probably going to forget somebody. Big Lou, Evan, everybody who trusts, even to my individual clients.
Yeah.
Everybody who trusts, because it is a process,
Yes.
and everyone plays a part in getting you greater.
Yes.
Got to shout out you guys.
Yeah.
Coming in here to want to interview an old fat ass
Oh my God.
trainer. I mean,
Please.
it's
Please.
I think when you can help each other grow,
Yes.
it continues that growing cycle, and that's what I'm about. I'm not about me where I'm gonna fit in. Oh, you're gonna get a Cadillac. You're gonna get, but it was cool watching Boo buy a Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
knowing you
I saw
had a
that.
part in that,
Yeah.
or knowing that Marcus is
Yeah. He bought a
when he
house.
bought a house,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, the other day my partner says, "Well, how long you gonna push him?" I said, "Till he pushes it, till he doesn't want to do it."
Yeah.
Yeah, but he may never. Okay, he may never. But I kept the promise that I made to him.
Yeah.
You work hard, you do the right things, you're going to be a champion. Amateurs, he was a Golden Gloves champion. He stayed in the amateurs till nobody wanted to fight him. Then we went out. He became a New England champion. He's the ABF champion. And after we get back from Florida, he's going to be the NABF champion. So we kept our promise. And if he fought that fight and said, you know what, Brian, I'm coming on the other side of the game. He's a champion. No one can ever take it from him.
Right.
No one can ever take it from him. When he was at that fight, when he lost that fight, the kid was talking rematch in the back. Number one, if he was at that fight, luckily unfortunately, they don't have video of it. He wasn't even given an 8 count. The kid stepped on his foot, hit him with a clean shot. I'll give the kid that. Stepped on his foot, pushed him. When he went back to the other rope, the ref looked at him, waved the fight off. There was no 8 count. When that kid was down, there was an 8 count.
Yep. He got his count.
We didn't get our count. So
Yeah.
if you look at his 5 losses, that's happened to him 3 times. His first fight, if you go back and watch it, the kid had a 15 count.
Is that a thing?
No, it's not.
I didn't think so.
But the guy sent him to a corner. He got to the corner. He picked up the count at 1 again. The outside person was already at 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he stopped the count again, moved Marcus back to the same corner that Marcus stood in, started counting again.
Was
At
it? What was
one.
it? Was the ref his uncle?
What had happened was
going on?
that ref, the week before, was involved with the fight where the kid died in the ring.
Whoa.
So he came back and his just
They shouldn't have let that ref in the ring.
shouldn't have,
Yeah.
by no means. Then we had a fight where they tell us it was a great fight for us to take. He gets in the ring. Now he's friends with the guy. I think they work together. But he beat the crap out of the guy. When he won the fight, they raised the kid's hand. The kid put his hand down, looked at Mark and said, I didn't win. We went to South Carolina. They robbed him. He's strong. He's powerful. He's fast. And I don't say it because he's my fighter, because it's the truth. If they're in a position where they can take the fight or protect the fight, they're going to do it. So for people in St. Petersburg that are going to buy tickets, that are going to watch it on that pay-per-view, whatever it's on, get ready, because there's not going to be a need for judges. I'm going to prepare him to take every angle away from this kid, to drop every shot he's got to drop on him, and come home with that belt.
Hell yeah, I'm excited about it. We're going to be down there. We're going to see you guys down there. We're going to try to bring everything down here. We can talk to people. We're going to have at least our cameras, and we're going to be doing video and everything like that. This is a huge event. Every fighter that we've worked with is on this card. So I've been excited, and my girlfriend always just loves to go to Florida. Who doesn't? And St. Petersburg holds the record for the most gorgeous days in a row. So this is going to be awesome. I'm super excited for Marcus. Again, you guys are just dropping this knowledge on me that it's a title fight. I did not know that, because I had met Marcus after that loss, and we went to a restaurant, and I was like, hey, you guys are running that back, right? And he was, oh yeah, we're already talking about it. And then now a month later, I'm like, hey, so how's that going? And he's like, nah, they're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah, if you would have, they changed their mind the next morning because we were in the same hotel. So I was talking to his management team right when we got back. Hey, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be great. The next morning, I saw him in the same spot, and I was like, "Hey, how's it?" And he came down the stairs, and he was like,
Well, we'll just go around and go somewhere else, right? You know. So and again, there's tons of titles, tons of opportunities, and when someone starts backing away like that, they get a reputation. And you guys are going head first, right down to St. Petersburg, Florida, April 29th. You'll be there. Marcus will be there. James, you'll be there. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.